what's going on again there, boys and girls? Welcome to another episode. I think this is, 29?
I believe so, yeah. My age. That's pretty good.
29. Of Chicken Bone Alley, presented by SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel, and Draco Springs. Boy, I'm David, by the way.
I was waiting for that part. What's up, y'all? I'm Sterling. nice to have y'all join us here.
Glad y'all coming back for another week, hanging out with us, drinking a few beers, and chilling out, talking about some racing.
All that.
We got a lot to talk about this week.
There's a lot. And
a little later in the episode here, we'll have our boy Derek Griffith on here again.
Yes, sir. Right off of an Oxford 250 run. What he wanted, what we wanted, by no means, but we'll get his take on it for sure. But anyway, before we get to that, how about your weekend? You cut grass on Saturday?
No, I did not.
Okay, well that's a plus.
I did not. I spent it between here.
Yeah.
For your daughter's birthday party.
Yep.
There's a lot of birthdays between,
June
to September here.
To May, there's a lot of birthday parties in there.
Oh, that's true too. To May, June to May, there's a lot of birthday parties.
But anyway, yeah. So her birthday party, man, that was a pretty good thing.
You getting old because your daughter getting old, so
she is 3 now. So Cole,
she turned 3 on her birthday.
On her birthday, that's what she says. So she don't know her birthday yet, but she knows when she turns 3. But anyway, no, it was good. She when Cole, my son's birthday was in June, so we got a big old blow up slip and slide big old thing, and she loved it. So she wanted a flamingo party.
A mingo? No, she didn't want flamingo. She wanted a mingo party.
She calls them mingos. Now I don't know why, and I have no clue why she likes mingos.
I kind of like it.
I mean, it's cool. I got them old school flamingo thing stuck in the yard right now still.
I'm going to end up coming over here one night and I'm going to put like 50 in the front yard.
Do it. It don't even matter. But so we get this blow up slip and slide again. And she don't even want to get on it.
No, like, she was like terrified of it.
I know.
Landon took her up there to begin with, and he was like, "Hey, come with me." And she made it up there to the top, and all of a sudden she was terrified.
That was it. Then last time she slid 100 times. So I don't know. You know how they are. So, but anyway, so as they were putting the slip and slide up, we were all setting up, putting tables up, doing all this here and this and that. Well, this dog shows up,
the star of the party.
He was actually freaking awesome. But so he comes up with my kids. He's a big dog now. He was part lab, part Rottweiler. He was a really good looking dog. He was healthy as he could be and whatever, and nice. He was good. But my my kids are terrified of big dogs. So
mine aren't. Good Lord, mine
no,
aren't.
yours were fine. So, but mine would not get on the ground. They would not do anything. They were just terrified. So, finally, David goes and puts him in the pen with my other dog that's back there, and he gets out in like 25 seconds. He's right back out.
I watched him. That dog with his big old head. He took his head and pushed the fence and just pushed it up and walked out from under it like it was nothing.
He's freaking huge, but he was good as he could be though. And so finally, me and Cole, my son, we were throwing football on the slip and slide thing. Well, he missed it and it went off in the grass. So Cuz, that was the name of the dog, Cuz goes and gets the ball.
It was on his collar, we found out.
Yeah, we found out. And we found his home by the collar.
Eventually.
Well, yeah, because my wife here, I'm not knocking her at all. She's beautiful, but I'm just going to tell you, it's got a number on it, right? So she calls the number and they don't answer. Okay. So after like 2 hours, I look at the number to tell David to call him back, and the address is on the thing too. I'm like, what are you doing?
We could have drove him down there.
We could have took him home. Lord have mercy. But anyway, so it's fine. But anyway, so he goes and gets the football and grabs the football up in his mouth. And he's pretty much the size of a horse. A horse. I'm pretty sure he's a little small horse. So he picks the football up and brings it to me. I'm like, okay, all right. I think I found something he could do.
Sterling has never had a dog that would retrieve a ball for him.
No, my past dogs would go and get the ball and keep on running the opposite way,
or jump on it and chew it up.
Yeah, and just leave it there and whatever. So anyway, I go find a tennis ball, and this fool, cuz loves to retrieve. I ain't lying. He as good as he could be. He would go get the ball and bring it back every single time. He'd sit down, wait for you. Anyway, he was a good dog. Really, really good dog. Well, finally, his owner called, came and got him. By this point, the kids were fine. They were playing. They had not cared about him anymore. And so when the owner comes and picks him up, he's like, you know what? I really appreciate you watching dog. I thank you for, calling me, whatever. We got some puppies at the house.
Well, first of all, your wife was like, if
she wanted to keep it
happens and you don't want him, we can keep him.
Yeah, like, can we keep him? That's his dog, bro. You can't get.
Apparently, he spent a whole lot of time with him too. I mean, he wouldn't just.
I mean, yeah, he was a good dog. I mean, he went right to him when he called him and all. But so anyway, so he had puppies. So I was like, dang. Well, at this point, I done got the idea that okay, this puppy that I'm gonna get is already going to be able to do everything that this dog can do and be as good as this dog can be. And I mean, honestly,
I tried to convince you otherwise.
I was wrong because he cannot, but he's only 9 weeks old. So, but he's a really good dog, though. He's really cool. He sit there and watch baseball with me. He'll retrieve a little bit, kind of, sometimes.
You got to start with him now.
He's learning, right? He's learning. So, needless to say, we went and got the dog. We went and got another dog. We got him.
Sterling said, when that dog outside or something happens to that dog outside, I ain't saying he wants it to by no means, but if something ever happens to that dog, I ain't getting another one. You know how many times I've heard that?
I know. I have heard it myself. I understand it. I got it on record, but I don't know. So, but anyway, so we got the dog. He's here. He's inside. We're gonna try to train him up. He's black and got one white foot. So he's kind of a mixed breed, but I think they're doing that now.
He's a mutt.
I'm pretty sure that that's a thing now because there's a lot of mixed breeds nowadays. But so he's I don't have enough hands, but he's a lab, he's Rottweiler, he's
German
Shepherd, he's one other one I can't remember. But anyway, he looks like a lab. He looks just like a lab with white feet, with one white foot. So, but he's cool. We got some big old feet. So maybe he's going to be a good dog. He's pretty good. But anyway, so that kind of took up the rest of our weekend there, kind of getting stuff ready for him and the kids playing with it. Well, Cole playing with him. My daughter terrorizing him to death. He's terrified. He'll go hide up under the bed.
Well, I'm just hoping if he grows up with him, they won't be scared of him for some reason.
I don't think that. I'm pretty sure that if they grow up together, they'll be fine.
That's what I'm hoping, but I've had dogs I've been holding before that they're scared to death of some reason. And nothing has ever happened to them with the dog.
I know. I can't understand it. I really don't. I don't know why. They're just weird. They're like their mama. But anyway, so we did that. Party went good. Had a good time. Had a good turnout. Everybody had fun. Ran out of pizza. Last time for Cole's birthday party, we got like 10 pieces, and it was way too much. So we got 4 pieces this time, and it was way too less. So maybe we'll go in the middle of that. We'll go like, 6, 7 pieces next time. But anyway, it was good. We had fun. After that, I went to a buddy of ours' house, hung out a little bit. Dave went to the racetrack. So how'd that turn out?
I went to the racetrack. Me and Landon went to the racetrack, actually. He went with me this time. I didn't go solo and have a ridiculous headache.
Well, if you did have a headache, at least he could drive home.
No, he couldn't drive home because we were so late coming back that he was asleep before we left the track.
Dang.
So, no, it was a good time at the track, and it was really surprising because the weather didn't look promising.
No, it didn't.
Earlier in the day, and they kept updating on Facebook and looking at the weather, and they said, "Hey, as of right now, we're still running. Day went on and kept on. They never got a single drop of rain at track, which was a good and a bad thing at the same time because they didn't do anything to track anticipating that they were going to
Yeah.
get a little bit of rain to kind of soak it in. But it wasn't terrible either, because they ran kind of went through a full class. I think it was, no, they went through 2 classes. They went through vintage, one of the vintage classes, and then the street stocks. And after that, they said, all right, rain's gone, let's go wet the track. So they went out there and put a good, healthy soaking on the track, ran it in, and that was the only time, from the time I got there to the time I left, that there was not race cars on the track.
I've seen them. They're quick over there, man. They roll.
Well, they're quick, and I'll put it this way, I left at 1 o'clock, and they still had 2 classes to go. Yeah. Yeah. They still had the late models. And the big race was the Super Streets over there the other night. So after Super Street race, me and Landon ended up leaving. And and they were about to start late models. And
Jesus.
it was close to 1, I think it was. So we got out of there. I ended up looking back and saw some videos. I wish I'd stayed for late models. They kind of had some drama over there.
That's typical for Lakeview.
Well, it's not as much anymore. It used to be like that.
Well, it used to. I mean, it was more drama. It was somebody getting stabbed.
Everybody used to call it cut and stab because, I mean, you wreck somebody over there, somebody was coming at somebody with a knife.
Promise you.
And they've cut all that out. They've really, really, really greatly improved that track. And I mean, it's pretty much a completely different track now. They've redone stands, they've redone track,
it's nice.
Put new dirt, everything. It's super nice now. And so anyway, got out there, done that. Then Sunday, I didn't really do a whole lot until lunchtime or so. And my dad came down from see, I'll tell y'all what kind of happened. My parents run they manage a campground at Santee at the lake down there.
Lake Marion.
None of us know it as Lake Marion. We know it as Santee.
Yes.
That lake's got so many names.
It does.
I don't think really know. Nobody knows what it is. Anyway, they manage that. So when they decided to go down there, they had a house here, and I had a house also. Well, I decided, all right, I'd rather move into y'all's house, and I'll let y'all sell my house, and, whatever. So anyway, this was about a year ago now, really. Just over a year ago. And so, since then, my parents have had a little bit of stuff in my shop out there. And
I think you just downgraded it a little bit.
Well, they got a little bit of stuff in the shop, and I've also got 2 big old I can't remember how long they are. Big old storage containers. Them big old cargo containers. I got 2 of them out back, way back in the yard. And they got 2 of those full too. So my dad comes over. He's like, all right, because I've been telling him, like, all right, I got a race car now, so I got to get everything in there. Got to get everything, organized, so I know where it all is and can work on the car like I need to. So he come over and we worked all Sunday afternoon on the shop, and I realized then it was hot. And guess what it's been the rest of this week? Hot.
It has. Ridiculously hot.
Hot.
I think it was the hottest day of the year today.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Like 106.
106 heat index, yeah. Tomorrow's probably hotter.
108, 109, 110, something.
Yeah. It's so humid outside. I feel like you can't breathe.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Forget COVID. We got humidity.
Yeah. Been miserable, bud. Miserable. So, but anyway, going back a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get into racing here.
I think we've said it before. We've pretty much figured out the best driver, hottest driver there is going on right now. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if you can say all time on dirt. I don't know if you can do that.
Of this era. We'll say of this era.
But, dude, to be able to jump in a super late model that you've tested one time.
If y'all haven't figured out who we're talking about yet, I'm pretty sure y'all have.
Mr. Young Money.
Young Money, Kyle Larson.
Yes, sir. Dude jumps in a super late model, man, and goes out there with the best of the best.
Buckle in and win. That's all you got to do.
That's all he's got to do. That's it.
Buckle
That's all he does.
and win.
That's all he does.
All that boy knows how to do.
Dude, we talked about it. And you know,
I will say real fast, told you so.
Well, we talked about it.
I know.
And we said, okay, you know, what's the expectations? And I think we said it last week. I think if he goes out there and wins, does it hurt the sport? Because it shows the, is it the lack of competition? Or is it just the ridiculous talent that he has? I don't know. But anyway, he goes out there the first night. He's fastest in hot laps overall. He wins his heat race by freaking 5 seconds. I don't even remember it.
Seconds,
ridiculous. Whatever. And he ends up finishing fifth. I think he should have finished second or third in the first night.
Yeah, he hit the wall trying hard last lap. I can't believe it.
But, okay, so he does that. That's whatever. Second night gets rained out. Third night, he goes out there and freaking dominates. Bro.
And it wasn't like nobody fell out. Brandon Shepherd finished second.
Right. Chasing him down. He was chasing him down at the end.
Dirt on Dirt
but
put out their top 25 dirt drivers. Brandon Shepherd was number 1.
It's unreal.
And that was late model drivers. They put Kyle Larson in it as one of the top dirt late model drivers.
Already? He ran 2 races.
Full race, 2 races.
It's unreal, though, dude. Honestly, it's unreal. And we talked about it last week. Like I said, I don't know the comparison to a sprint car to a super late model. They're both are ridiculous as far as horsepower to weight. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
All that. But a sprint car has got to handle 180 degrees different than a super late model. It's got to.
It probably does. It does. It does. You got a lot bigger right rear tire, but you got a lot more power. You got more horsepower to weight ratio there in a sprint car. But just like I said last week, dirt is still dirt. And
it is, man.
That is where he excels. He can read the dirt. Just like they talked about Dale Earnhardt could see the air.
Yep. Larson
can read the dirt.
He can, dude. It's unreal. It is absolutely ridiculous. So hats off to those guys. SRI on the sleeve. I love to see that, as always.
Well, you also have to look at, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I personally think Kyle Larson is one of the greatest talents to ever drive on dirt, and that it goes for any series. But he was also in a top-notch ride. Kevin Rumley, the whole stop tech brake deal.
Oh, absolutely.
Just all those, they had the best of the best.
They do.
Of everything.
They absolutely do. And I'm not knocking his equipment by any means, but what kind of equipment is Brandon Shepherd in?
Oh, he's in top of the line too.
How many races has he run in a super late model this year?
And that's my point. That's
this
my
was
point.
Unreal to me. You swap race cars. You put Brandon in that car, and you put Kyle in Brandon's car.
I still think you need Kevin Rumley over there with him.
Hey, I'm all for it, but I'm just saying it is that to me is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
I can see it okay in 4 or 5 races. He gets up there and wins, whatever. But first weekend in the main event of the week, it's unreal.
It's insane.
That is unreal, that's what makes it even more to me. I've been a Kyle Larson fan for a long time just because of his dirt experience and what he does on dirt, whatever. And he was, kind of he wasn't a big spotlight in NASCAR. He wasn't.
I mean, he won some races.
He won some races, and he was there for a lot, and he was whatever. But people kind of. I'm not saying people. I don't know really what they thought, but it seemed to me like people kind of thought he got there for other reasons other than talent based.
Well, and he was on the World of Outlaws podcast this week, and basically he said that's what he wanted to prove.
Right.
That money didn't get him there.
Right.
He didn't get the name Young Money from mom and daddy handing off money.
No.
He got it from winning money.
He did. And it's, that's very impressive to me. And dude, I keep saying it. I've said it. I can't go to, and now if there's speculation that we'll talk about when we get to NASCAR stuff later on, but there's speculation that he may go somewhere, but I cannot go back to a sport that I like to make more money and leave a sport that I love and run. I mean, I can't do it. I don't know, dude. That's just me.
Well,
whatever.
I agree with you, but and I have not talked to Kyle Larson at all, and I'd love to, but I have not talked to Kyle Larson at all. But I'll tell you my thoughts of where that comes from real fast is I think he just wants to prove that he is the best at everything he can drive. I think he wants to get back to NASCAR just to show that he can go win a championship.
I think so. But see, like I've said before, though, it's so dependent on equipment, and it's so dependent on all this aero stuff. It's so Kyle Larson. It's so untalent. It's so driver talent that I don't think it fits his being to me. And I'm not saying that it doesn't. I'm not saying he don't deserve to be there by any means. I'm just saying that I don't think driver talent, driver actual seat, button to seat talent makes up the difference in the Cup Series.
No, I agree with you 100%.
I don't think that because if so,
that was so Kyle Busch be winning everything.
Exactly, 100%. I agree 100%. And Kyle Larson would have 20 wins by now.
Yeah.
So. There's so many speculations there that come in effect. But anyway, I hope the best for him. Like I say, we'll talk about it later. But talking about Kyle and his ability to run anything and win, he is going this weekend to California. Is that right?
No.
What is it?
No.
He's not doing it?
No. Yeah, I saw the whole thing.
Oh my goodness! That's a big letdown for everybody.
It is, but it was all fake. It was, and what made it worse was Ricky Thornton Jr. I like Ricky Thornton Jr. If you don't follow Ricky Thornton Jr. on social media much, Ricky Thornton Jr. will feed into some drama just for the fun of it. He likes to have fun on all of it.
Well, that's what I saw.
Yeah, exactly. Ricky Thornton Jr. put on there. Somebody had made up a post saying he was going to do this, that, and other. Go run a I forgot the name of the race, some big race in California.
Yeah,
modified race. And then Ricky Thornton Jr. reposted it. So when Ricky Thornton Jr. reposted it,
exactly,
I'm taking it as truth because they're talking about
he's driving his car.
Driving his car. That's what they're talking about. So Ricky Thornton Jr. reposted. I'm like, hey, that's gonna be cool. He gonna go jump in modified now, see what he can do. No, somebody just made it up. And Ricky Thornton Jr. He finally come back. He said, all right, that's enough. I was just playing. Somebody made it up and brought it to my attention. So I was like, I'm gonna have some fun with it.
Wow. Well, that's probably for a first for a lot of people because it's a first for me. So I hate to hear that. I really wanted to see what he could do in a modified. Really
I did
did,
too. I want to see what he can do in anything.
But
personally.
hey, I
I want
wouldn't.
to see what he can do in a go kart. I mean,
He'll win. I know what he'll do, but
I want to see him back on some. I personally, I mean, I know he loves dirt. I love dirt, whatever. But I want to see him come run some
Super
late
late
model asphalt stuff.
absolutely, man. Come run with Derek some.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to see it. Absolutely love to see it.
In my opinion, now don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm glad he went up there and ran that race and won and everything. But I'd love to see him come back and run. He could went and ran the Oxford 250.
Yeah,
I promise you, somebody would have put him in a car.
Oh yeah.
And so, I mean, that's a bucket list race for everybody. Obviously not him, because if so, he'd have been in it.
Well, I can't blame him. I love dirt.
No,
I love asphalt. But his heart is in dirt, no doubt about it.
And he wanted to prove that he could go out there and run a super late, which he even said. I mean, self-admittedly for himself, he way exceeded his expectations.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
and like you said earlier, he was in fantastic equipment. Ain't no doubt about it. But anybody entering that race, that Lucas Oil race, is in fantastic equipment.
Oh, I promise you, everybody.
You
don't just go out there and outrun Jimmy Owens.
I've seen posts about, Kyle won because of his equipment. No, he didn't. He did not, because you can't tell me that the rest of that field, the top 5 in that field, did not have the same equipment. And speaking of the top 5, how about old Chris Ferguson, man?
Fergie time.
How about that?
Fergie time putting it up there this weekend.
He ran. He came up to the field on Saturday night. Yeah,
he had the fastest car out there.
I promise you, he didn't have time.
I was looking at lap times. He had the fastest car out there.
He was rolling.
He was rolling. Sucked. He had to come from that far back.
I know it.
Our boy Fergie.
I think Jimmy Owens started way back too, and he came up long. They were both rolling. They sure were. But Chris was fast. He really was. I was glad to see that. But I think he had 2 top 5s.
Yeah. Pretty sure he did. So he ended up finishing 4th, right? Yeah, because Larson finished 5th.
Yep, first night.
So Chris passed Larson on the very last corner. I think, I'm not sure.
Yep.
To finish 4th that night. I think then he turned around and finished 5th on Saturday.
On Saturday night. Yep.
So that's
very
good running. I mean, that's
absolutely, that's the best of the best, man.
You can go to any Lucas Oil World Outlaw race. If you come away with a top 5, that's unreal. That's good.
It really is. It really is. And that's why I say it just impresses me with Kyle and the talent that he has to be able to adjust and do what he does on dirt, man. That's all I can say. Just do what he does. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Buckle in and win. That's what he does.
That's what he does. But speaking of Chris, we're going to be heading to Lancaster Speedway this Saturday afternoon.
World of Outlaws.
Yep, coming to Lancaster. We excited about that. Finally get to see us some dirt racing. We hadn't been to one, a World of Outlaw race since February. So,
Florida.
Yep. So being able to head up there to check them out. We're gonna try to get a couple interviews. I hope Chris being one of them for sure. But that's close to his home, so I'm feel sure he's gonna run pretty well there.
He's run good there in some in a lot of I think they ran some ultimates there. He's run good in. I think he's ran the north-south stuff there. He ran real good. I want to say he's got a couple wins there. I don't have stats right in front of me by no means, but I want to say he's got a couple wins there.
But he's going to run well. He sure will. I know it. And there'll be a lot of good guys there. Ricky will be there.
Ricky Weiss.
Scott will be there for sure. Scott Bloomquist. Not sure. We're not really sure. And that's what me and Dave were talking about before the episode started. But, there's Lucas Oil race also this weekend in somewhere, Pennsylvania, somewhere, wherever it is, but there's only like 4 or 5 cars that's designated to run that series. So I don't really know who's going to show up. I'm not sure. So
yeah, for some reason, and maybe it's just this year's been so weird for people that there's Lucas Oil is less than World Outlaws, but both of them don't have a whole lot of. They end up with a good field there.
Always, oh yeah.
I mean, both series do, because people kind of pick and choose where to go, where it's closer for them.
And you got your locals,
but
for
both
sure.
of them, and you get locals. But both series are down on car counts this year. But like I said, Lucas Oil is as far as dedicated drivers to that series, they've only got like 5 cars dedicated to running Lucas Oil Series this year.
Well, I hate that for them, but yeah, I kind of hope that some of the guys that pick and choose kind of which way to go close to the Charlotte area will head to Lancaster.
It looks like they're going to have a good field over there. Looks like it.
I believe so. I've seen some of the stuff that Lancaster's had on. That they got a pretty good bit of cars that said they're coming. So, a lot of going to have good weather. That's important.
I'm gonna tell you what, it's gonna feel like a cold front after this week.
Yeah, it's gonna feel like Halloween when we get up there. Daggone 60-something degrees at night. That's gonna be a relief.
Amazing.
Especially when I leave the house at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's already 80 degrees.
Dude, it's been rough this week.
Ooh,
it has been rough. I mean, we sat in the shop today, and I just sat there in front of the fan for I don't know how long, and I'm like, it's too hot to do anything.
Yeah, it is. It's been crazy, but anyway, so a lot to look forward to. I have not seen where Kyle Larson is going next. I know we've been talking about him.
He's running some sprint cars this weekend.
Okay, well, you'll probably see some more wins. I think he's at 35 wins this year now. I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Now that's totaled. I mean, that's throughout all his
dirt stuff. But that's like I say, it's unreal. We keep talking about it, but it is what it is.
Well, that's the thing about it. I mean, until he quits winning, you can't. That's racing.
You can't help. It's like you can't look away, you know.
Yeah.
But so it's really cool for sure. But so I don't know if anybody's seen it or not, but pretty neat picture, and David will post it on our deal for sure. But somebody made a post of Caitlin Larson. Naturally, every time Kyle wins a race, Caitlin will shotgun a beer. So they made some trophies up of Caitlin's trophies, I guess you say, whatever. They made the trophies out of beer cans, so it's pretty cool. 35 beer cans. It's pretty neat to see. But I tell you what, it's impressive, man. It really is.
It's insane. I mean, it's unreal. And I saw some people arguing back and forth on Facebook the other day, and I don't know. I don't get into all that argument crap, but somebody come out and said that they thought that Larson had to be the best overall dirt racer of all time. And simply because, and it's hard to argue the point, is, yeah, I mean, you can say Steve Kinser was the greatest sprint car driver of all time. You can say that because he's won more championships and everything else. And you can argue that Bloomquist or either Billy Moyer is the greatest super late model driver of all time. You can argue that. I mean, back and forth. Which one out of any of those has won in both series?
Which one has won?
And late model.
Which one has won 35 races in half a season, bro?
I know.
I mean, I'm not saying Kyle. Kyle does not deserve the title of best dirt car racer ever because he's not run full time,
right,
for one. For two, this is his, I'm not saying his first year, but this is his first so-called quote-unquote full-time season that he's run right now. Now, if he does this for 5-10 years on and wins 50 races a year, there's no question.
Yeah, there's no question.
Especially
if you can jump back and forth in all different kind of cars and win and everything.
I promise you, there's no question. So, and
I think he's completely capable of doing that.
I know he is, and especially if he takes it on full time and takes that effort on full time. Nobody can argue that. Nobody can, whether you like him or not, whatever.
But I don't see him doing it till he's in his late 30s.
I don't either.
Maybe 40s.
I know where he wants to get back to, and I think, like I said, we'll talk about it later. I think that's going to happen. I think he's going to gain respect. I think he's going to gain fans in a big perspective because I always liked Kyle and his ability, but when he run 4 or 5 sprint car races a year, whatever, that I followed, he'd win or he'd run top 2 or 3 or whatever. Okay, that's impressive. That's whatever. But for him to go and do what he's done this year,
that's insane.
It's unreal. So, am I going to follow him when he goes back to NASCAR? Of course. I'm going to follow him. I'm going to pull for him just because of his ability. It's not, it's just unreal to me. I just, whatever. But I don't think he deserves that title yet by any means. I don't want to argue it. I'm not saying he's not. But, does he have 600 wins and all this? No, he doesn't at all. So I don't think you can take away that from someone that does.
I will say right now, you can definitely say he is the
hottest.
Well, yeah, you can say he's the hottest, but I'll even give him, because I don't think, in my opinion, Tony Stewart was a good driver, but he wasn't to this level. I will say that you could say that Kyle Larson is the most versatile driver of all times because of his ability to jump in anything and win.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
But yeah, I don't think you can say greatest yet. Now, will he end up in the Dirt Car Hall of Fame and all that stuff? Yes,
he definitely should.
Yes.
I
mean,
that's why I see
down the road, because I think he's only 28 years old or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think he is.
But
I don't know. I just, like I said before, and I keep saying it, I hate to see a wonderful talent in dirt go to waste to try to make a name for yourself in a money market. And I don't blame him by any means for doing it. But someone like Steve Kinser made a name for himself. Scott Bloomquist made a name for themselves because they stuck with it and they dominated over the years. They could have moved up. They could have gone wherever.
And I don't think winning will ever get boring. But do you think that, like Scott Bloomquist or Billy Moyer Sr., do you think winning that much ever got boring to them?
Can't.
I wouldn't think so, but
yeah, I mean, that's what you go to the racetrack for.
I mean, yeah, I know.
I mean, so I just that's my way of looking at it. Now, if he stuck with it, like you said, he's 28 years old. He runs dirt. He transitions back and forth, whatever. However that would work out. He runs that for 10, 12 years and wins. I mean, if he's doing that full time, he's going to win 50 races a year.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to be the 600 mark, 700 mark
quick
in no time.
Quick.
So that's going to make him, I think, the best of all time. So I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just unreal. It is unreal what he's doing right now. But I wish him the best of luck. I really do. It's really cool to see that. But anyway.
The only thing I want to see is him come around. I want to see him come around in a late model personally. Somewhere close I can go.
I wish he'd come to Lancaster this weekend, man.
He's
not going to do it, but I wish he would.
But I wish he would. I really wish he would. It would have been a good race for, and because I was like, Rumley and all them are based right there in Charlotte, and he lives in Charlotte.
All stars lining up for us.
Come on, right there to Lancaster.
Be able to see him.
30 miles down the road. But they're not.
That's all right.
It's all right. There'll be a bunch more there to talk to.
Absolutely.
And watch a whole lot of good racing this weekend in Lancaster. They're going to be Livonia, Georgia.
On Friday.
That's only about 3 hours from Lancaster.
Yep.
And then turn around and bust tail to Lancaster.
Yep. That race was scheduled, Friday night, was scheduled for Fayetteville, which is the new track. It's all revamped, remodified, shortened up, banked higher, walls all the way around it now. So we haven't been there yet. We were really looking forward to going there on Friday night.
We got real close.
Yeah, we were headed that way and got poured down rain on, and they canceled on us. So that's happened 3 or 4 times going to Fayetteville. So, but anyway, that race is canceled due to the virus deal. So hopefully they'll be back next year, and and hopefully they'll bring Lucas Oil and World of Outlaws back. I know this year they have been running both series.
Yeah.
But the Lucas Oil was not on tour to come.
Well, that's just like the Ultimates were supposed to be at Lakeview this weekend, and they ended up canceling that. I think the Ultimate Tour did themselves.
Right.
And so it's put a damper on a whole lot of racing.
It has. It's messed everything up, and a lot of people. But
it's like me and Sterling was talking about it, that NASCAR can go out. They can run without fans because that's not where their money's coming from. Their money's coming from TV deals. These dirt tracks, they can't make it without fans.
They gotta have it, man. That's what they live for. It's what they run for the fans. But put on a good show. But so anyway, we'll be in Lancaster. We're gonna check them out. We're gonna head to Columbia first, and we're gonna hit up Hooters about 11:05 when they open up. So, hey, if y'all are listening, whoever's up there in the Harbison area, make sure your smoker's working because we coming.
Get them smoked wings ready. And again, anybody listening from Hooters, if y'all want to sponsor a podcast,
we work for wings.
We work for wings.
I promise
Smoke wings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, but a little more dirt stuff. Like I said a little while ago, me and Landon headed over to Lakeview Motor Speedway this past Saturday night. We headed there. I think we got there about 6 o'clock. I think we got there. And at about 6:30, they put cars on the track. And like I said, there was a small break for them wetting the track. I mean, that literally didn't last 20 minutes maybe. And they wet the track, ran it back in real fast, got cars out there to run in, and kept right on trucking with practice. Well, I say practice. They didn't even do practice. They went out, the first time they went out was hot laps that counted as qualifying also. For all the classes except for Super Street and late models. And so they honestly, there was cars on the track from the time we got there to the time we left. And man, they put on some good racing over there. And you talk about a crowd of cars for a regular Saturday night show. Now they did have paying some good money in Super Street. And they put out a bounty on old Pope over there. And there a bunch of boys showed up to try to do it, and couldn't nobody touch him. And they started off with vintage cars. Oh, asphalt guy now, Ricky Locklear Jr. was over there running a vintage. I guess you call it like a vintage modified. This thing had a hog on it, son.
That's not unusual for Ricky Lawler Jr., but I'm going to tell you. I mean,
it had a hog in it, and I don't know what their specification. I really don't, because I'm going to tell you, they had cars out there from anywhere running like his. It sounded like a big block. I don't know what was actually on it. I didn't get close enough to the car, didn't ask. It was a big old motor, and it turned up, because I heard him going down the straightaway a few times. He get about to the flag stand and all of a sudden break traction. I mean, it was insane the power he had. But they ran away from that, and the guy running towards the back, he had a daggone 4-cylinder in it.
God,
so I don't really know what the specifications are for this class. I'm gonna have to look them up a little more. But
that might be the class to run, but you just whatever.
You can run what you brung, as long as it's old. Well, I'm gonna tell you what did happen though. Ricky Locklear Jr. jumped out to the lead on lap 2. He slid off 1 and 2. Brought out a caution. Had to go to the back. And there was about 10, 12 cars in this class. They ran from then to the end under green until, I say to the end, till the white flag under green. He drove it from the back up to second. I mean, put on a show. I give it to him. I give it to old Ricky Locklear Jr. He put on a show. And he like I said, they had a caution there last lap. Dude got a good jump on him. He knew he had to get a good jump, because if he wouldn't have got a good jump, there wasn't no way he was staying in front of Ricky. But
right.
He got a good jump and checked out, and Ricky finished second. I can't remember the guy's name that won, but it was a good race. Go check out Lakeview Motor Speedway's page. They got all the results on their Facebook page, I know. But up next was the race I went to see. I mean, they had, like I said, they had a few more races, but race I really want to see, because I hadn't been able. Me and Sterling's talked about, we hadn't been able to go see our buddy old Mike Butler over there running any, but all this crazy mess that's been going on this year, and we had to reschedule weddings and stuff like that. So we've been at weddings and just haven't been able to go see him. So I decided, I want to go see him run. He'd been running good. He won the last race over there. This was an exciting race. Very exciting. Mike started fourth in the main, and on lap one he jumped to second. Drove on the outside. They got a good jump on the outside. Leader took the outside lane, and he was second off the start. Ran a couple laps, got a caution. Started again, ran a couple more laps, got a caution. At the end of this race, they had only run 6 laps. They ran out of time. Time limit ran up.
Oh, my God.
They got a 25-minute time limit on them. They had ran 6 laps. Well, they had ran about 5 when the time limit ran up, but they have to give them a green-white checker at the end of that. They don't finish under caution over there. So, another restart. Come up. Old Mike stuck it in there. Guy tried to cut him down. He had a tire going down. Leader had a tire going down. And Mike stuck it in there, and guy tried to block him. Took Mike's right front fender off. But he held it in there. And got the lead from him. And that boy spun out. Caused another caution.
God almighty.
It took him forever to run that last lap. But Mike made it happen. Old Butler racing number 48. And I went out there and I told him, I said, I ain't been able to have you on here since the first of the year, so let's get a little interview with you. So we talked to Mike. Here he is. All right, for the second race in a row, Mike Butler's been able to park it here in Victory Lane, man. But looked like you missed a little bit of hardware up on the right front there. Tell us what happened out there.
Yeah, we started at 4 tonight. Took second on the first lap, and got up to Tom. He was having a right front flat, and he kind of chopped me off a little bit. We got into him a little bit. We didn't wreck him. We got by him and ended up winning the race.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Hey, got to do what you got to do out there. Sometimes people get in the way, but that was a good, clean race you drove there. I know we talked about it first of the year, but tell us about everybody you got on the car now. I know you added a few.
Yeah, we got Chicken Bone Alley, Joe sells Harleys, Copperhead Cove Marine doing oil service, Iron Horse Motorcycle Lawyers, Arnold's Restaurant, Village Station, Betty's Tax Service, Pork Chops Tattoo. I know I'm forgetting some of them. It's been a long night, but I just want to thank everybody that helps me out to make it get to the race. We've done a lot of research, running the smallest motor out here, and we're still getting it done.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, man, it sure looked good out there for the. They ain't actually get but 6 green flag laps, but figured out how to get it to the front there. And but man, we appreciate you getting Chicken Bone Alley on there, and ready to see a couple more of these W's.
Yes, sir. I hope we can get you on there again next year.
We'll do it. We'll get it done. But we appreciate it. And again, Mike Butler, Butler Racing, number 48 Monte Carlo puts it in Victory Lane again. That was cool. Mike putting it back in victory lane, second time in a row over there.
He got that car figured out now, man.
He getting it figured out. He said he got a couple more things he wants to do to it.
Of course, he's gonna work on it.
So I will give it to him. Oh, Mike, don't quit working on that car.
He does not.
And that's what it takes. That's what it takes.
I will give that to him. He works on that car. He sure does, and it pays off. It does.
Pays off. Definitely pays off. There was a little controversy in qualifying over there. Me and him was talking about, but it ended up being non-controversial when you outran the guy anyway. So it worked out pretty good.
Absolutely.
Super Street, come out there. Pope dominated it as always, and nobody collect that bounty on him. But that race, no lie, they didn't have a time limit on that because that was a big race tonight. It probably took an hour and a half. Let me tell you what happened the first lap. First lap, I guess they thought because there's $500 bounty on him, we'll get him the first lap. They all go in there. There was about 6 cars piled in there. Look like they ain't slowed down 1 iota for turn 1. Well, he slides off 1 and 2. Just keeps on trucking, and all them cars just stack up 1 and 2. It took them forever. They had to red flag it. It took them forever to get everybody off top of everybody. It was funny. So actually, I ended up leaving after that race. Nothing really happened in that race. He just smoked them, just dominated them. I mean, every time they run, there'd be a lap into it, and he's half straight away ahead.
Oh, yeah.
He's got that car figured out. But late models. Boy, they was fighting over there. I left. I didn't know it. I saw it on Facebook the next day. Oh, they was fighting in it. I heard that race took a while. Then the little sport compacts. I'm not sure what happened over there. Honestly, like I said, I left for all that. So sorry about that. Check out Lakeview Motor Speedway though. Check out their Facebook page, all that stuff. They got all their results, everything on there, and go check them out if you're in the area. Put on some good racing. Pretty much it. Put on good racing.
They do, and they sell out. But I'm going to tell you,
they pack the stands over there.
They don't even care, but they sell out.
They with this past weekend with the weather not looking good and everything else, the stands, no lie, were still, I bet you, every bit of 3/4 of the way full. It was only the bottom few rows in each section that weren't full. So
they put on a heck of a show, bro.
Dude, they do. We went to leave, and there's just cars just lining the road because the parking lot's full, so they're just parked on the side of the road everywhere. So they know what they're doing over there. They're keeping that track right, keeping it run in real good. And it's like I said, the thing is they didn't even really wet it too much the other day, and it still didn't even it really didn't get that dusty.
Track's good. They got really good clay, dirt, whatever you want, whatever it is in there. Track looks really good. A couple times I've been over there. I mean, honestly, it looks about like Sumter.
Oh yeah, definitely so.
It really does. So whatever they've done to that track, it looks really, really good. They've done well with it.
Definitely so. But anyway,
like I said before, Young Money, old Kyle Larson, man, I tell you what, keeps dominating. Sponsored by the best, as are we. OSRI Performance, man.
That's right.
They look out for the best driver. I'm telling you, man. I'm just looking through here, and okay, all right. Kyle Larson, Roll Roman Engineering, tear him up,
dude.
They tear him up.
Dominate.
They tear him up. And what's in the car?
All them parts from SRI.
All right. Okay, exactly. You look here. Kyle Strickler, he was running right up front. He finished what? I can't remember. Second or third the first night. I don't even remember what it was. SRI parts.
He finished second. That's right.
I'm telling you, bro, it don't even matter. Everywhere you look, SRI parts everywhere. I'm telling you, you can't not beat it.
No, can't touch it with a stick. I'm just looking, and SRI is huge, huge, huge in all your Ford performance parts. D3 cylinder heads, Z351 aluminum racing block, or you can move on up to the Gen 3 Coyote 5.0 engine with control pack. I mean, they got all your needs for any racing applications for all your Ford stuff, all you Ford guys. And I mean, why you need to go anywhere else?
You don't.
You don't. And I'm gonna tell you what. As y'all know, I've talked about it before. I got me a little street stock that I'm messing with a little bit. I got me a big old cart made up on SRI.com right now under my
Go
account.
on and submit it, Bo.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't get it.
While you're on there, if FYI, when you need all this stuff, don't forget to use our promo code CBONE10. Get you 10% off.
Gotta use it.
Gotta use that. You need 10% off.
Yeah, especially all you local guys, man. Look, all these guys that's, you need to order something quick. You need to have it here next day. You need to make sure you're gonna make the racetrack Saturday night, whatever.
That's
Call
right.
them up, order them up, get it,
That's
get
right.
it coming.
Especially from us. We're right here, South Carolina area. They're based right there in Charlotte area.
Yep, it'll be here.
It'll be here. It'll be
Promise
here. Be here fast.
It
If you
sure
need to run
will.
up there, run up there. Hey, walk to her counter. Tell them, hey, I'm here because I need this part today. But can you apply this promo code to it?
They'll do it.
They'll do it. They
They'll
don't
hook
care.
you right up.
CBONE10.
Yeah, don't
Hook
forget it.
you up.
Don't
And
forget it.
again, all you welding students, go on there. Getting into welding this year.
Got some heck of a deals, man. Got some packages. Go check them out. Go look them up online. Get them.
That's right. Go get them. And remember, SRI is your one-stop shop for all things racing. And do not forget stock car steel and aluminum.
Everything you need.
For all you welding guys, again, you need
Structural.
materials. There you go.
Anything you need. Don't forget it. And how about them Draco Springs, man? Again, good example. Stuart Friesen. When he's not running his truck, what's he running?
He's running that
The old big block
modified with them purple springs.
With them purple springs, man. He goes up Georgetown Speedway this past weekend, man. Tears them up. I love seeing it.
I see posts on there all the time from Stewart and all this stuff on social media. He wins constantly. I'm gonna tell you what, he gonna keep on. He gonna be in a category with Kyle Larson.
Tell you, he's gonna do it, man. It's a lot of us do with them springs.
Jimmy Owens springs.
I'm telling
Stuart
you,
Friesen springs.
it's coming alive, man. People starting to realize it.
Well, guess what, Kyle Larson? I don't know what kind of springs he had on the car, but he got SRI stuff.
He does, man.
So go get it. Like I said, your one-stop shop for
They're
all
everywhere.
things racing. Go build you up a cart like I got that I want to hit purchase on. It's awesome deals on stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's awesome deals. I just need a lot of stuff.
Well, it adds up quick.
Yeah. I just need stuff.
It adds up quick. It's like when you go to Lowe's, Bo. It just adds up quick.
Speaking of adding up quick, this week, our boy has had some awesome finishes up there at Oxford Speedway.
The prep racing, man. Getting ready for the big show.
Ready for the big show. Coming off the third place and the second place and then the 20-something.
Well, the finish does not show the...
It don't show the whole story.
It does not. We'll let him tell his story.
We're going to let him tell the story. So here is our buddy, Derek Griffith. All right, and back with us this week, our buddy, old pal, Derek Griffith. Derek, what's going on, man?
Oh, not a whole lot. The usual, just rolled into the race car shop and assessing our race car and working on our race car after a very, very long weekend. So that's about it.
I know I messaged with you a few times over the weekend, and man, I know y'all had some long hours there.
Oh yeah, yeah. 250 weekend is good for that too, and it. What's kind of good is usually the fun night, the party nights, Friday night. So everyone usually gets kind of tuned up Friday night, and Saturday is the recovery day. And all it did was rain all day Saturday, and they no racing going on Saturday. So we had plenty of time to kind of recover and hang out a little bit on Saturday at least.
Sometimes you need that a little bit every now and then.
Oh yeah, for sure. And usually the 250 is like a really, really big party deal, but I've never seen that little amount of campers there. It was actually a little sad. Usually there's hundreds and hundreds of campers there, and I'd say there was probably maybe 180, maybe 200 campers max. So usually the whole parking lot's all campers, and they have to park cars like way up the road and all this and that. And they were pretty slim pickings as far as the camping and the seating goes. The state of Maine only allowed them 2.5% capacity in the front stretch grandstands.
Dang.
Man, that sucks. Yep. And this whole year is crazy, and it's putting a sucky damper on all this good racing.
Oh yeah, yep, and it's happening everywhere too. Not just up here or down there. It's all across the country, which sucks. But hey, it is what it is.
I just want to know, in light of all that. I mean, I know it's happening all across the country, but I know Sterling watches it. We watch flow racing a good bit, and on pretty much every night of the week, you can find a race on flow racing of some sort. Mostly dirt, because them guys don't know when to not race, and them sprint cars and midget stuff. I don't know these tracks they're racing at, but they look like they got 1,000 people in 500 seats worth of stands.
I'm telling you.
That's crazy. But anyway, man, well, we know we ain't been able to talk to you here in the past couple weeks because you've been busy with race cars, as you should be. Take us back a little bit. The past couple weeks here before the Oxford 250 there, you ran up there at Oxford, and you had some good finishes. So let's go back a little bit before. Let's go back to those a little bit before we get into the big race. So how was your preliminary weekends up there?
Good, I mean, there was a past 150 race up there 2 weeks before the 250, and I think we finished third is where we ended up for that one. And I started, I forget, maybe 10th or 12th or something like that, or 11th, somewhere around there. And we had a good car, just, we kind of got super free on the long run and ended up having some stagger issues here and there. But that was, just third place podium run at Oxford a couple weeks before the 250 is huge. And, it was a clean run too. We didn't have to worry about nothing, no damage or anything like that. And then we had another 100-lap race at Oxford. Originally it was called the non-winners race. So anyone who had not won a pass race ever, it was kind of like their way to get a provisional into the 250. Right. And they changed it up a couple of years ago to more so like an open show. And we ran that deal, and same thing. I started I forget where I started for that one, but I ended up finishing second in the green. Basically, we had a caution on lap 1, and then we ran green to checkered basically after that. Wow. And we have, we don't run bleeders or anything like that, whereas a lot of people up here run bleeders, and on the longer runs they can be a little bit better than we can, especially after 40, 50 laps kind of running it hard. So we were good, just not enough time, finished second in that deal. And then, we took a bunch of notes, tried a bunch of things that, a lot of it didn't work, but we had to try it either way. And that's kind of how the couple of weeks leading up to the 250 was. I mean, we had a ton of momentum, so it was it was for once felt pretty good rolling into the 250.
You talk about the no cautions in it. I know down here, even the past series down here, a lot of times I don't know if it changed or if that's just an Oxford thing, but is that a typical? They don't have any halfway breaks or anything, because I know a lot of times down here in a 100 lap or more race, typically they have a halfway break in there.
Yep, yeah, that's not a deal they do. I mean, we have semi-live pit stops, meaning you can lose or gain position on pit road, but only with cars on the same lap as you. So you're not fighting.
Okay.
And I should say that a different way too. You can't lose a lap on pit road either. So their breaks necessarily stem from cautions, but there is no mandatory 50 lap break or 100 lap break or anything like that. It's just whatever ends up happening. You kind of you got to run it out for those 150 laps, and if you got a good car, you usually end up all right. But if not, then it's a long race.
That does make for a long race. How's the weather been up there the past couple of weeks?
It's been getting a little bit cooler. Right now it's raining and probably I'd say about 65, 70 degrees out right now, but it's been getting a little bit cooler, a little bit rainier now that fall's going to be rolling around any minute now, basically, it feels like.
That's not even fair. Our heat index here today was 106.
It was the hottest day of the year today.
It's been up and down a little bit recently, but it's kind of, getting a little bit cooler. Like I'll ride home with the windows down at night after the shop with the heat on, because it feels good to have the windows down, but it's a little too cold to run it the whole way home like that.
That's nice.
I'm ready for those days.
Yes.
Oh, my favorite.
We got about 2 weeks of that, and then it'll be hot. It'll be hot again.
Well, see, ours is down here for whatever reason. We don't have a spring or a fall. I don't even know why that is. We'll have days like today where heat index is 106. Tomorrow's supposed to be like 110, and then heat index again Saturday or Friday is supposed to be 106 or something like that again, but we'll have like weeks like that. Then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, all of a sudden you see a high of 70. And I mean, 70 for us, that's pretty much our winter time.
Pretty much.
We don't get much below highs of 60 or so. So, we like to be hot down here.
Well, kill, not my cup of tea.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. But anyway, well, after all that was said and done, and you kept the car good and clean for 2 races, rolls around the big old 250 that everybody's been talking about. And you had a real good Friday, real good practices and everything.
Oh yeah, yep. We were a top, I say conservatively top 5 car. We were on a really, really good night. We would have been a top 3 car for sure. And I say, like, a lot of the practices, there's so many practices, 250 weekend, Friday, Saturday, and usually Saturday at least. But I think we had 6 or 7 practices just on Sunday alone. So, we didn't go out in all of them, and we were like very consistent as far as speed goes. I mean, we went out on old tires, and we were top 10, top 7, top 10 on old tires. Every time we went out, and then we scuffed in a couple of our race sets, and I mean, put it up on top of the board 2 out of the 5 practices or 6 practices. We only went out in probably 3 of them, and we set up on top of the board for 2 of them at least. And we had a very little does it happen when you're at Oxford and you're like, man, my car is on the money, and when it is too. So it was really good. I mean, we started off the weekend really good, and just Lady Luck is the biggest thing in that whole entire race. And, she was not on our side.
Definitely not. Wait, it started, the bad luck started with a draw. I saw your draw number. I was like, good Lord. He's starting behind the 8 ball already. So I hated that. I hated to see that. I'm sure that had a lot to do with getting into the trouble on the restarts and all too.
Yeah, it kind of sets you up for a position on your heat race deal, and if you're lucky, you can kind of wiggle your way in. I mean, you got to think about this too. Those heat race positions, one position there was 5 heat races, so one position in a heat race advances you 5 spots in the feature. So
Wow.
every single spot counts. So important to do what you got to do to get into a decent spot, and
Right.
we almost fell into like a decent spot. I think I started 15th,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we rolled through traffic pretty quickly and ended up towards the front. And it sucked because lap one, like I knew it was going to be a long night when lap one, they all played games and stacked up on the initial start,
Yep.
and then got back rolling, and then drove into 1 and 2 there, and they got right in the middle of 1 and 2, and then all stacked up again, and it was like an accordion effect on the bottom. And I was one of the guys in the stack up, and we tore up the hood and the right front fender, and I'm like, oh man, here we go. This is already lap one, and I knew right from then it was going to be a long race, but it didn't really slow us down too much. We kind of got back rolling, and ended up towards the front, and we took our 2 tires on lap 100 or whatever like that. After I kind of got hung out to dry on the outside there for a while, they all same thing got stacked up in front of me, and I to avoid them, I locked her down and slid up into the outside groove, and I had one option basically was to go forward, and my other option was to fall back, probably a little more than I wanted to because there wasn't a hole yet, and so I just chugged forward, picked off 3 or 4 people on the outside, and after that, I mean, the tires were used up, so we made the decision to pull down pit road, take 2, rolled back out, and that's when I drove up to second. And I mean, man, the thing was rolling pretty good, but we on one of those restarts, I'd say middle of the race, I got slammed in the left side by someone. They all same thing, stacked up on a restart, and someone came from the bottom of the racetrack to the top, sideways, and I was on my way by, just trying to make it through, and they about tore the whole left side off, and they got me really good. They got from basically from the front of the rocker panel and the fender all the way back to left rear quarter panel, and
Jesus.
I think we might have like bent the Panhard bar a little bit and done some damage at that point, because after that I was just holding on. I mean, I wiggled my way to second, and then we kind of fell off a little bit. I mean, I only took 2 tires, so it was part of that deal. And then we took our last 4, and I knew we just didn't have enough to get back going again. And I came to realize it was like lap 220, and smoke started like pouring in the tin work while I was under yellow, and I'm like, man, this thing, it's motor oil. I'm like, someone around me, might be dumping motor oil, or whatever, something's happening with motor oils. And we run a quick green flag run, like 8 laps, and I come to yellow again. All of a sudden, it's like smoke's really pouring in, and so I come over the radio. I'm like, guys, this thing's dumping oil out somewhere, and we didn't even realize it must have been on that lap 1 incident where we all stacked up. My radiator cap like twisted, counterclockwise, like off,
Right.
like 1 turn, or not 1 turn, but 1 click.
Right.
So it's the whole race, it was leaking the coolant out of the top of the radiator and dribbling down and going down on the racetrack. But the whole entire race, it was doing that from lap 1, and it
Jesus.
pushed all the coolant out of the motor, and
Man.
they I didn't even realize it because the temperature gauge must have been reading air temp by then, and lap 230, I pulled it in because it was smoking, popped the hood, and or I'm rolling in to pop the hood, and I push the clutch in, the motor just shuts right off. I'm like, oh man, that's not good. And sure enough, we're like, crap, the radiator cap, clicked off 1 turn and spit all the coolant out. So we're like, yeah, after that, just leave it in. And we were still in the lead lap. I think might have even still been top 10, just, circumstances really, really got us. And I also forgot, when I was putting a lap car, his second lap down, and he decided he wanted to go from the 3rd groove on the backstretch to tearing off the whole rest of the right front and the door, the
Almighty.
passenger side door, and the rocker panel while he's going his second lap down. So that was interesting as well.
And you would think, as many cars make it in or try to get in that race, that there's going to be pretty good drivers out there. But no, some of them want to do stupid stuff.
They got to be somewhat decent drivers to make that field. There's 43 cars start that race. Is that right?
Yeah, they had like 43 or 44 start. I think they sent around 15 to 20 home. So
right.
Yeah, you got to be kind of in the realm of being okay at least or at least have an understanding on what the hell's going on around you.
Exactly.
But I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, watching them guys on restarts, watching those restarts look like a junior champ class on dirt with 8, 9, 10-year-olds out there. I mean, I don't understand that. I know you probably thinking the same thing in the car. I mean, that's devastating.
What the hell are these guys doing? I mean,
all the momentum y'all had. Yeah.
So crazy. They're like want to chug down the restarts so much. I said it right off the bat. I'm like, I know what's going to happen here. These guys are chugging down these restarts like we all got big motors and we're going to drag race at a place like Pensacola or Thompson or something like that. And sure enough, Oxford's got no grip, like nothing. You ride around sideways the whole race. You just slide around the whole entire race. So these guys are chugging restarts down and trying to get like a jump on one another, and it's just stacking up the whole field. And it happened every time, or like someone misses shift, or someone chops everyone off to run themselves on the bottom. It's like now you just expect a little bit more out of guys sometimes than that. But like you said, hey, it seems like everyone has their people that probably don't really belong out there that end up out there.
It sucks too. I mean, just because that's a track. I mean, just watching it, you may think different, but from me watching it, yeah, it's tricky in a way. But it seems like you can make passes there, so it's not like you got to gain everything on a start or a restart.
Oh yeah, for sure, and that's true too, because there's plenty of room. You can run 4 wide at Oxford and not touch each other. I mean, we ran. I did run 3 wide, a good part of the race, and there's plenty of room. You don't even have to touch each other. You don't have to be near each other. There's three grooves, and it feels like 3 different racetracks, and you don't have to. It's not more so like you're not going to gain a bunch by like chopping someone up off a corner, whereas you would at a place, like a bullring style racetrack. It's almost like you hurt yourself trying to race against the guy on the bottom or the top, because you're too focused on them and not where you're at on the racetrack. So it's almost like, what are you guys doing? Just get going and get racing. If your car is good enough to be able to pass them, it's not that hard.
Exactly my thoughts. Exactly. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, I hated it, man.
I hate it for you because, I mean, you look like you had a good – regardless if you had by the race time anyway, because through practice I thought you had a spectacular looking car, but even in race time, if you had a top 10 car, that's still awesome in the 250. I mean, that's awesome, man. It looked like you were well on your way to getting there, and stupid circumstances.
Yep, and that's one of the biggest reasons why like a lot of people like to run that race is because circumstances can fall in your favor, and unfortunately they weren't in our favor this year. We had a pretty good run last year, and we've had a couple good runs at Oxford so far this year, but we got a poor old tore up race car right now. Well, we've done a bunch of work to it since then, but we definitely had a tore up race car, so it that was the biggest bummer. I'm like, man, all weekend, usually something crazy happens in practice, and someone either bangs into you, because I don't know if you guys watched any of the live feed of practice, but there's 40 cars out there all practicing at the same time. It's chaos. It's literally chaos. Like, that's the only way to explain it. There's people pulling out on the racetrack, people pulling off the racetrack. There's people trying to scuff their tires on the bottom, and it's like, it's just crazy how much of a organized chaos it is. So,
exactly.
And that's what makes it Oxford.
That's Oxford, and that's racing. It's like true. I messaged you, like I texted you the other night. It just for me, and I know I've been in that place, and it sucks, but it's good because they know you were there. But like I texted you the other night, I was like, man, you run this whole weekend, you run, up front in practice. Like you just said, there were 7 practices or whatever. I or
Yep.
more than that really, but run all that. You run up front. You run all these heat races. You run, everything. You run the whole race, and all of a sudden, 20 to go, out the race.
Well, that's what's so
Yep.
bad. I mean, first lap getting damaged already.
Yeah, exactly.
That's devastating, man. But and I know the way they do the draw and heat races and all that. That makes the Oxford 250. That makes that race because that takes somebody like you, a fast car, coming from the back, getting caught up, whatever. That makes it that much more challenging, that much more fun to watch as a fan. But it's got to be tough. I mean, if you could have qualified well, qualified top 5, whatever, you just stayed out of the mess on restarts, that race would have went totally different for you. And that, but that's just part of it. Like you say, that's Oxford.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's probably, I really truly think it's probably one of the toughest places to win at in the whole entire country. And I think that kind of got proved with how bad Bubba struggled this year. Again, I mean, he was awful.
I was wondering what was
crazy.
up with him because I saw way back there, and I was like, "What is up with Bubba?"
Yep, and it happens, and that's 2 years in a row. So he comes here and spanked everyone his first time here, and 2 years in a row now he's absolutely been way off the pace, and he even says it. He'll tell you like Bubba was even saying that he sucked, and you can. The place is just very humbling, I guess is the best way to put it. It's so humbling that it makes you question everything about you as a driver, your car, everything. So it's crazy that I don't know. It's just the toughest. I think it's really the toughest place to win in at a super race is up here at Oxford. You can just be good one day and you can come back and just be bad one day, and that's everything can be the same. You can change nothing, and you can just be bad. That's just how Oxford is, and it just shows. It's just crazy that it's like that.
It is.
Well, speaking of, as far as you going there from 2 weeks prior, then a week prior, did y'all keep the same similar setup in the car from those 2 weeks, or did y'all have to change up a good bit?
Yep, yeah, it was super similar. We did try to change a bunch of stuff, and none of it helped. So rolled right back to how we we have a really good baseline for Oxford now, and it seems to work when we just unload and are like that. So that's been really good for us, and that's huge to have something that works, especially at Oxford too. And that's been huge because it seems like one person at Oxford, I don't know if you guys noticed this too, one person at Oxford is really, really good for a period of time.
Oh,
Curtis Jerry wins all those races there. Wayne Helliwell Jr. wins all the races there for a year period or a 2-year period. Even if you look back on the trophy, you'll see Dave Dion won the thing 2 or 3 years in a row, and then the next guy won it 2 years in a row, and then so it always seems like it goes in spurts, and it's we're so close to being good enough there that we are that on that spurt, but we're just not quite there yet.
Do you, and I know this from being up north. Do you think that is from just progress in the cars and technology changing a little bit, or do you think that is from the track actually changing? Because I know I've heard even Pocono, as far as track wise, they say because of the cold winters and everything, the frost and everything under the ground will actually cause the track to rise and lower in certain places. Does that happen up there?
Yeah, it definitely does happen. I think more so. I mean, it's not even just technology or just the track. It seems like a combination of things. I mean, we got to think too. A lot of the people, I talked about it too recently. I'd say probably about a year ago. I talked a lot about it. Was everyone right now or the last 2 years has been doing good. Whether business wise or financially, everyone's doing pretty good. So everyone's got new stuff. So everyone's up here with a brand new Taylor car, a brand new Shaw car, or a new Fury car, or a new whatever car. So the technology is there, and I think it's catching up more, because it's funny. Louis talks about all the time of the stuff that he used to do, and I can't believe it. Like the setups that he had in his car, 15 years ago or 20 years ago is like complete backwards of where it is right now.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not even close to where we are at right now. So, and he says like, when they paved it, they ran like, pretty similar times to what we're running now, at Oxford. And it's, I think if they paved the racetrack, we'd be hauling the mail there, but, I don't know. The track changes too by the hour. You can
Yeah.
have you can have a sun cloud come over and pick up a tenth just because the sun cloud came over. It's pretty wild.
Oh, man. Well, again, fortunately, there's always next year, as they say.
It's a long way away, though,
It's
man.
a long way away, and it sucks for right now.
Exactly.
I don't even want to hear that right now.
Exactly.
So, I'm guessing out of all these past couple weeks here, you got the rear end issue figured out in the car.
Yes. Yep. Yeah,
Good.
we got some stuff squared away. They're still acting up a little bit at Oxford, but I think we're in pretty good shape. And I mean, as you can tell, we think we're in pretty good shape. And we thought about bouncing some stuff around for this Sunday. We're racing up at Claremont, and we thought about bouncing some stuff around and changing it up a little bit. But I think we're gonna stay true to what we got in there now, and we're gonna run a different motor combo, obviously, since we baked the other one, and that's gonna be kind of it. We're gonna change our usual stuff, gears and shocks and springs and stuff, and we're gonna go to a completely different racetrack. And hopefully I didn't forget how to drive around a quarter-mile ball.
Oh, no, I know that's for sure. But Derek, I want to ask you, talking about new cars, and the new 5-star bodies. I see a lot of those guys running those now. Is there any advantage to those bodies? I mean, I've heard a lot of things about certain series will allow them, they won't, or whatever. Seems like a lot of guys up there had them. But what's your opinion on them?
Honestly, I don't think that there's a massive advantage on it. I bet if you play your cards right, and I mean, let's be honest, everyone kind of messes around with their bodies anyways. They pass template and everything, but everyone plays the game, and I think if you can get that body to do the same thing, kind of play the game as you can with the old bodies and do all that stuff, it might be a little bit more of an advantage because they have those little splitters on and
Right.
So forth. But honestly, I haven't noticed. I mean, we ran at Richmond, last year, or I think it was last year. And in the class that I ran, I ran the open motor, like the 2-barrel steel-headed motor stuff. And the guy that won our class had an old body on, and the guy that finished second had a new body on. And we go and run at Thompson, and this is right as the bodies got released, and me and DJ Shaw battled it out for a win. I had an old body, he had a new body, and I don't necessarily think there's an advantage one way or another. The new ones look better for sure when they're done right. When they're not done right,
when
they
they're
look
done
a lot
right.
awful. When 8 inches off the ground going down the front stretch or the back stretch, they look horrible, I think. But when they're done right, they're beautiful.
I thought it was funny when they came out with them and they showed them on the show cars that they had them on. They had them sealed off to the ground, sitting there. And I'm like, that looks awesome, but that's never going to work, though.
Yep. And I mean, it's awesome. They look phenomenal, and they're great looking. They look, I mean, really, it's how a late model car should look. I mean, in my opinion, but
right.
We're not driving 03 Chevy Monte Carlos or Luminas anymore. Right. I mean, or whatever they are, whatever our bodies are mapped off of. We're running, late model cars. They should be late model cars, Camaros, Mustangs, all the new bodies. But, I know it's not that simple to just do that. But hey, hopefully one day it'll be a little bit easier to make that look like it's, really a late model.
Yeah, and you're right. But I'm going to tell you, like the body that you run, I know you said it's based off of whatever, Monte Carlo or whatever. But to me, I remember when my dad, he kept up a late model for a guy that was a local racer here, and that was in the early 90s. And the cars even looked, somewhat similar then. And so I guess I just grew up around a body that looks similar to that. And I just love it for some reason. I don't know. It's hard for me. Don't get me wrong. I think the new ones look awesome. But when I think late model, I think like your car. Because I remember so many having a different color nose and a different color tail than the center section of the car. And I don't know. I always remember that, and it caught my eye, and I loved it. So I think it looks sweet.
Yeah, it's hard. It's going to be hard. I mean, I even think about it every now and then with the newer, the ARCA bodies and the Cup bodies and all that. And then you see like some of the stuff that they had in like the early 2000s there, and some of those like Busch North cars, and how they really, stretched the body limits and those things, and how crazy some of those things looked and everything. It was cool to see. I like that style more. For sure. And then I like looking back at all the, the really old stuff where they had, real cars on the racetrack, real Chargers, real Camaros, everything was real, real body. I thought that was probably one of the coolest things ever, because it's just not like that anymore.
Yeah, definitely right. Well, cool, man. Well, moving on from all this old stuff, and I know you already mentioned it, what all do you have coming up here in the next couple weeks here?
We got Claremont this weekend, 10,000 to win Sunday. Should be on Speed 51's pay-per-view and all that deal, so everyone can watch. And then the following week, we have a $10,000 to win race at, I believe it's at Lee. So, and unfortunately, they canceled the New Hampshire Motor Speedway ARCA race. So that's a big old bump. Yep, I was pretty pissed off about that one, honestly. But that was supposed to be next weekend coming up, and they unfortunately they called that. So my next ARCA race will be at Bristol in 2 weeks, I believe, and that's pretty much it as far as we got scheduled out right now. I mean, not really too much, other than a couple, big money races, and that's kind of what we're going to be focused on here.
And I was going to talk to you about that on here. With them canceling New Hampshire, are you going to make up that race anywhere that you know of yet, or is that going to be kind of a floating deal until you figure it out?
Probably we're gonna make it up somewhere somehow. Might be Pensacola, maybe.
Yeah,
so at least I'll be back to another racetrack where I got laps, and that will be pretty big for me. I'll be pretty excited to run there if we do, but kind of up in the air now. We're just taking it as it comes, because every week something's changed, something's different, something's coming up, and we're it sucks. It makes it impossible to kind of plan and really focus on what we're going to do, because you can't really make a plan if there is no plan or no schedule going on. So That's been so the hardest part probably is like, how do you even pitch that to your sponsor? Hey, we're going to be going somewhere.
I was thinking that same thing, and me and Sterling was even talking about that, and that's just like we were talking about next year's schedule with, we can go from the Cup Series to ARCA Series right now, and any of that is hurting these guys. And I know you're right in the midst of it, trying to sell sponsorship for all this stuff, but you have no clue what's going on. How do you navigate that?
Yeah, you just kind of do the best you can, it's just a crappy deal all around. And some racetracks are allowing fans, some states are allowing people to do things, and then you go to other places, they're not allowing anything, and it's just kind of dancing through. I'm really lucky that I got the opportunity I did when I did, and kind of a crappy year to do it, but I still got it, and I'm hoping we can wiggle some sponsorship stuff next year out of this whole beginning year. We'll see how we can do from there.
Definitely so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely so.
Well, hopefully, I hear you got some stickers in the mail, Derek.
Yeah, yep, we got them. They're as soon as we get the body panels back on this thing, they're getting slapped on. So we'll have them on this weekend, rocking them some Chicken Bone Alley stickers.
That's what I'm talking about. And all y'all out there, if y'all want some, like we said last week, shoot us a message on any of the social medias, or send us an email. That is chickenbonealleypodcast@gmail.com and tell us you want some some decals, and we'll see how we can get you some out there. But yeah, man, we like I told you, man, I appreciate you putting those on there.
Now, sorry.
No, I was just saying I appreciate you putting them on there, man. That's awesome.
No worries. Sorry, couldn't hear you for a second, but yeah, we'll be rocking those things. They're I'm probably gonna find some other special spots for them here and there. I kind of want to slap them in the trailer somewhere and
there you go.
Tag all of our local racetracks with them things. So we'll see.
Well, when you do, take some pictures for us and send them to us, and so we can stick them out there.
Stick them in the bathrooms, man. Send us a picture.
Write people's phone numbers on them and stuff.
It'll be perfect. I'll try to get it at like every racetrack in New England. I'll try to slap them in the bathroom or somewhere special so they can check us out.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's
man.
freaking awesome.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it. Maybe it'll bring you a little bit of luck, I hope. And I know you hadn't forgot how to run the old bull ring track, so you have some good luck this weekend, I hope.
Yeah, we'll see. Fingers crossed. Returning to the track, I got my first ever touring win in a pro stock ad. So, well, they call them pro stock, super late model. They're both the same thing, but yeah, that's where I got my first win in a touring race, and we'll see. I'm going back to Claremont, and last time I was there, it was actually snow. It snowed that same day. So
wow.
Well, I hope it don't snow this weekend. I hope it don't snow this weekend. That wouldn't be good.
It best not, because it'd be bad.
It'd be real bad. Oh, cool, man. Well, something I want to ask you about real quick, getting off the late model stuff for a minute. Let's something I want to throw out here to Sterling even real quick. I don't know how much you've been paying attention, because I know you've been busy as I don't know what, but we got the NASCAR, the Cup Series playoffs starting this week at our home track of Darlington, in which we cannot go. We were there. We were there last year. We don't tell nobody, but we got a couple connections with NBC.
Yeah,
and we were down on the NBC pit box last year watching the race, and we ended up getting ride in the little truck that they got that runs out on the track at the end of the race to interview the driver, the winner. So we were out there in it last year, but I want to basically just do with us three here some playoff predictions for the Cup Series this year. Who you think's gonna make it to the last? First of all, let's name our four drivers that we think's gonna make it to the last round. Derek, you go first.
It's gonna be hard not to pick Harvick and Hamlin, because it seemed like they've been hauling the mail this year. Somehow, some way, Logano always ends up in a good spot, and so does Kyle Busch. But I know Kyle Busch has been god awful this year, but I'm going to go with them anyway. So those are my four.
That's some low hanging fruit. But I don't blame you, Sterling. What you got?
Well, I'm definitely with you, Derek. I say definitely Kevin Harvick and Hamlin. I mean, they've been winning everything this year pretty much since they came back from the break anyway. But I'm going to say those two guys, and I say Chase Elliott, man. I really do. I don't know why, but I just think Chase is going to be there, but we'll see what happens with that. And I say Ryan Blaney. I'm going to go with Ryan.
Blaney? Wow.
Go with him.
Little stretch, I think. I mean, I like it. I'm going to go with, and I'm going to give y'all a mathematic reason here, not just because they won here. No, not really. Just for these two guys. I'm going just like y'all with Hamlin and Harvick. But the reason I'm going with them is because if you look at the points, their playoff points, they're almost 30 points ahead of everybody else. So they literally could, I mean, all they got to do is mid-pack to death, and they pretty much made it to the final round. So, with that being said, them two, obviously, I I'm going to go like Sterling did, though. I'm going to go with Chase because I think Chase Elliott is somehow going to pull off a couple wins. He always tends to come through in crunch time somehow. And I'm actually going to go, and I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like Brad Keselowski is going to come on here at the end.
That's a good pick.
Maybe so. All right. So, with that being said, who you got winning the championship, Derek?
I'm gonna go with Harvick. I'm gonna go with Harvick. He's been running so good. I think he can he's got that that under pressure. He can pull it off under pressure. It seems like. So I'm gonna go with him.
Going with his Ford teammate there.
That's right.
I got to do it too.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't blame me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hamlin, man. I think Hamlin was strong last year.
No.
I think he would have won it last year, honestly, without the 2 foot by 3 foot piece of tape on the front of the car. Pretty sure he would have won that race.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think I think all the stars are aligned finally this year for him to win a race. Now, I'm not necessarily pulling for him by any means, but that's just what I think.
Him and his crew chief, in my opinion, they crack under pressure too much. Way too much. I think one that I said was going to sneak in there and get some wins, I think somehow he's going to sneak up there and win his first championship, and that's Chase Elliott. I feel like that's going to happen.
That would be awesome. I'd love to see that.
So, on the show here, we've got a Ford, a Toyota, and a Chevrolet pick.
There you go.
I guess
we're reverse.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess whoever wins gets bragging rights for next year.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Derek, we're gonna let you go, man. I know you got some work to do. Get ready for this weekend. We sure do appreciate you coming on for sure, as always, and looking forward to our next chat coming up soon.
Yeah, no problem, boys. Always my pleasure to be on, and looking forward to the next time for sure.
Most definitely, man. And like I said, we appreciate it, and we will be talking to you soon.
Awesome. Sounds good. Hopefully after we're $10,000 richer.
That's
yes,
right.
Sir.
That's right. You win that, you're definitely coming back on here.
No doubt.
All right, man. We'll be talking with you.
Cool. Sounds good, boys. We'll see you.
Later.
And again, as always, as we say every week, we sure appreciate Derek being on here with us.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
I mean, like we said before, this is part of his podcast too. It ain't.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, he is.
Hey, he helped us. He helped us start it and helped us build it. So we're gonna let him, hopefully, if he will, help us continue it on. But he's busy. He's got a lot going on, trying to get the car ready for this weekend. But take some time out.
I'm ready for him to not be busy for just a little while, so we can actually get together and hang out some.
We're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to find us a beach somewhere and get on a boat.
Some beach somewhere.
What's wrong with that?
We'll meet in the middle somewhere. We might have to go to like Virginia Beach one day.
That's a long way to pull that 23
It is a
foot
long way to
boat.
pull a boat.
He might have to come here. I'm just saying. Sorry, Derek. I apologize, but that's a long way to pull that boat.
Hey, Derek, can I borrow your truck to pull my boat?
Yeah, can you fly to Myrtle Beach and we can hook you up from there? Yeah.
No,
We'll work it out, man. But yeah, definitely. Good times, good buddy for sure, and definitely go follow him, go check him out, go watch him on Speed 51. He's gonna be here this weekend again. Coming up soon, Bristol. Follow him. Gourmet lollipops. Go get you some.
Them OG lollipops, original gourmet lollipops on the car. Them things is good.
I'm telling you, man. I remember back in the day, dude. I'm like, God, now I didn't really pay attention. And we kept talking with Derek, and I'm like, they're everywhere.
They are.
They are.
You can't walk in a convenience store and not see them.
You can get them wherever.
Everywhere.
Just look for
store. I mean,
they got like 1 million flavors. That's what I love about it.
Flavor. Every one of them.
They're awesome.
So anyway, back to some NASCAR stuff.
Well, we had a demolition derby
Typical. We had a Daytona race. Daytona.
We called that last
Daytona
week.
Demolition Derby.
It didn't take a whole lot to guess that one, but man, I tell you what, dude, I watched a little bit of it back and forth, and I hate it for old Jimmy, Bo, because he was running up front.
I mean, he did mostly what he had to do until the very end.
Yeah, and he just got caught up in the mess.
But the bad part was William Byron did a little bit better.
He did, and I'm proud of him for it.
I am too, and the Benedetto did exactly what he needed to do, just stay out of trouble.
Yep, and I'm proud to see him in the chase or the playoffs.
I am too. I mean, he's like last year we were at Darlington. If y'all didn't see, I put up some posts on Facebook. Our last year at Darlington, we got to ride in a little truck and stuff. But anyway, after that, I actually when they interviewed Matt Benedetto, I kind of chased him down and, just to shake his hand and tell him good job. And dude stopped. He looked like he was about to pass out. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was hot. It was humid. He looked like he was about to pass out, and he stopped just to tell me thank you and appreciate it that I told him he did good.
Yeah, he's a really humble guy, really down to earth. He has paid his dues. He has worked really, really hard to get to where he's at. And I think he's done it just by being a good person, honestly.
For the most part, yeah.
I don't think he's done it by selling himself. I don't think he's done it by whatever. I just think he's a good person. And he's talented by all means. And that makes a big difference. But he's a good guy. And I'm glad to finally see him get his opportunity to get where he should be.
Definitely so. So I'm glad to see him in the playoffs. I hate that Jimmy missed all because of, and he said, somebody asked what, he said, I mean, they haven't had the best season, but he missed basically because he tested
That's
positive.
The only reason he missed.
Supposedly he tested positive. Then 2 days later he tested negative twice.
That's the only reason he missed. I saw a thing about it. I meant to send it to you, but if he had finished, I think it was like something. If he'd finished like 15th, something other, and he'd still made it in the race. So,
but you can't really follow on that because all he had to do all year was win a race.
Yeah,
and he's typically
I don't agree with that. I really don't. I still say
that.
I don't like the win and end thing.
No, I don't either.
I don't like to win a freaking rookie championship.
That's another thing I want to bring up here in just a minute.
I don't like that.
Yeah, we'll bring that up here in just a minute. I want to bring that up.
But anyway, but just to see, I mean, I don't like that fact. But it
like
should
Austin
be.
Dillon, I don't agree with that.
It should be an average finish all year to get to the top 16.
I agree. I don't mind if you did 2 wins and guaranteed in.
Whatever.
Because you're not gonna. Most time you ain't gonna look into 2 fuel mileage races.
Okay, say you a road course ace, and you win 2 road courses, but you ain't shit nowhere. You ain't no good nowhere else. I just don't like it.
I agree.
It should be if you're gonna win the regular season playoffs, then you need to make your way in.
Well, I agree.
By finishing in the regular season playoffs.
If they're okay with putting some ridiculous math formula that nobody can figure out on qualifying now,
so stupid, bro.
Then why not put some ridiculous math formula on getting in the playoffs?
I think make it as simple as hell. You get points for where you finish. And if your points is higher than the other person's points, you get in.
I like that,
I think that's simple. Why not do that?
I'm not big on the win and in because my thing is if you win enough, your points are going to be high enough.
Well, I mean, your stage points and all that. I love it. Keep it. That's great. Because Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin pretty much made it to the top 4 already.
Yeah.
Because of their stage points. That's good because that makes the regular season mean something.
Right.
Not just win one race and okay, I can test the rest of the year or I can whatever. You got to still perform, but someone that top 10 somebody all year long gets kicked out because someone that looked up and won one race gets in. That ain't right. That just ain't right to me. I don't like it. I don't like it. I wish they changed that. I really do.
I think it's played out. I think it needed to be tried, but I think it's played out.
Well, it probably ain't turning back, unfortunately, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, I hate it for Jimmy. Regardless, he has had one heck of a career in NASCAR. to win 7 championships in the era that he did it in is, I think, honestly, and I'm a big Dale Earnhardt fan, and I'm a Richard Petty fan, but I think the 7 championships in Dale Earnhardt's era was more impressive than Richard Petty's era, and I think the 7 championships in Jimmy Johnson's era was more impressive than Dale Earnhardt's era, just because of the talent, just because of the closeness of competition. Yeah. So I think that's very impressive. I really, really do. And he did it in like 5 different generations of cars.
Right. I also saw a stat, and I want to say it was this past weekend. He had the exact same amount of starts as Dale Earnhardt this past weekend.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that.
He's got, 10 more wins, I think.
More wins. I don't know. The top 5 were close.
But less top 5s and top 10s.
Yeah, but more wins. But
that's kind of been Jimmy's thing, and it's been that way for a long time. And I want to say that was a lot of contributed to Chad Knaus.
By far.
If he didn't win, then he was way off. Chad Knaus tried so much stuff, and I will still say, I don't care what anybody says, I think Chad Knaus is the greatest crew chief to ever come through NASCAR.
Yeah, well, and I agree with that, and a lot of the reason I agree with that is like I just said, they went through so many different cars.
Exactly.
And Chad had to figure those cars out, figure that domination out, and he did.
And he wasn't scared to try anything.
No, and they did, and they were very smart.
Let's put a what was a ridiculous PSI shock on the left rear that they finally had to outlaw it because they were worried about it blowing up on the tire changer.
Right.
It worked. It worked. It killed him at Dover for years with it.
Yep. It was very impressive. Ray Evernham, I think, is
he's right there too.
Is right there with him, but I think Chad deserves that. It's just very impressive to me because I think he's the only crew chief to win 7 championships.
Yeah, he by far. I mean, the next close to him, I want to say, was either 3 or 4.
Right. So it's very impressive for him also in that kind of legacy that went on. But I hope the best for Jimmy for the rest of the season. I'd love to see him get a win.
I think you're gonna see it. I think you're gonna see one. You might see multiple.
I'd love to see it. He ain't got nothing to lose, but just go out there and do it. Just go out there and win.
And I don't think Rick Hendrick will want, and I don't think he's been like this the whole year. Trust me. I mean, I really think they've been trying to. But Rick Hendrick, I think, is now, telling them, throw out all the stops you need to. I want him to win before he leaves.
Yeah, he needs him to win before he leaves out. Really does.
And he's very capable because I'm going to tell you, Dover a couple weeks ago could easily fail his way. Daytona, he run up front all day, could have fell his way. Darlington coming up this week. He's no slouch there.
Oh, absolutely. He dominated for a while last year or early this year and spun it out or whatever he did. But anyway, I kind of hate it because, who's to say? What would a little bit of practice and qualifying do to help him in his last year?
Tons.
So, it's in I'm not saying that's a handicap by any means.
At the same time, it'll help Kyle Busch. So, I mean,
I promise you. But I don't know. It's just I hate it. I hate to see him go out handicapped this way this year because I think if it had been different, I think he would have won a race.
Well, I just hate, just like going back to what we was just talking about a minute ago. I hate to see him going out. He goes out, but he technically has more points and everything than Austin Dillon. But Austin Dillon is racing for a championship because he won a race. Cole Custer is racing for a championship because he managed to win a race.
But yet he finished by points. He was second or third in the rookie standings.
Yeah, I mean he nowhere close.
But he won the rookie championship. Right. I don't agree with that. And I do not like that win and in thing. I don't.
Well, I think the rookie points battle needs to go off all year points. I don't think it needs to go off of the same points.
No.
And the same thing that we're using for the playoffs.
It does not.
Because, okay, he looked up and won a race. I mean, he ran good that race. I will give him that. But look at what
Tyler
Reddick has done in that 8 car.
He's
run consistently up there.
Yeah.
He's had some bad luck. Don't get me wrong.
Well, I mean,
his is
that's
rookie
to
year.
be expected. But I mean,
that's what happens. But he's run consistently
he has
better
outperformed him
than Cole Custer every week.
He has outperformed him, and I mean, and I just don't see that's right. I do not see that's right. How can you have an average finish of, well, I'm just going to say 10th, and Cole Custer have an average finish of 15th, but yet won a race?
Yeah.
And you lose to him from that aspect. I don't get it. That's not right to me. I don't like it. I don't think it should be that way.
No.
I really wish they get rid of that win and end thing from the rookie side for sure, and for the playoff side most definitely, because it doesn't matter to me. Consistency to me is what gets you in a points championship and what gets you in a point series. I mean, it shouldn't be, okay, the playoffs, yeah, whatever. Win and end, win, whatever. I think it's been, I don't know how many years, may have been since they started it, but whoever won Homestead pretty much has been the winner of the championship.
That's right.
And okay, that's great. That's whatever. But a lot of these guys, and I've seen it, Kyle Larson being one of them, had a fastest car at Homestead, but let them go so they could go race for a championship. Okay, I get that at Homestead.
Yeah.
Go let them do it, but don't make it count for the rest of the year. I don't agree with it.
No, it's a little mess up.
It is, but anyway, going back to Willie B. William Byron, I'm glad to see him finally get him a win for him and for old Chad. I'm sure Chad was kind of doubting himself for a while there, but they got it done.
They had a fast car too.
They did.
I'm not going to say he looked into this super speedway race because he was up there all day long.
He definitely ran well,
and he pushed himself to the front.
But if it was not for Chase Elliott the last couple laps of that race, he would have not won that race.
I agree with you.
Denny Hamlin would have won that race for sure. But kudos to
the teammate thing.
Yeah, kudos to Chase for pushing him. Chase knew he had to probably get up there close to win it to get in, and he did what he had to do. So that was really good.
Definitely so. Speaking of teammates, though, did you happen to catch the Xfinity race?
I did not. I did not get to see that.
Well, come down to the last lap. AJ Allmendinger was in the lead. Ross Chastain was running second, which is his teammate. Justin Haley was running third, which is another colleague teammate. And I listened to Ross Chastain on the Dale Jr. download today, actually, when I listened to him. He basically went for a hole that wasn't there to try to win the race. And he took his teammate out. Took himself out, took his teammate out. Now, fortunately for them, Justin Haley did come up and win the race. Another colleague car. So that was cool, but it didn't seem like happy camping over at the colleague camp there.
Probably not. But, Ross has always come across as the guy that goes for the win. He don't really care.
I like that. I
do too. I'm all for it.
And he said over there that, owner said, look, last 10 laps, look out for each other to the last 10 laps, and it's up to y'all then. But Ross even said, I said it was like that up to the last 4 at Daytona, just because, I could make something happen in 4. But, yeah.
Well,
try to make something happen on the last lap, and Allmendinger threw a block, and the block that he threw, well, it wasn't really much of a block. Really, it was just a hole that wasn't really there. Ross just pretty much run into him.
Well,
he said it was his. I will say he handled it real classy, though. He took complete blame for it. But he also said, I'm trying to race for a win.
I don't blame him.
I don't either.
I don't. I love to see it. I don't like seeing the layback and whatever. Ross wants to win every time he's on the racetrack.
Good.
And that's what I like to see. So kudos to Ross for that. Was it smart for him to do what he did? Who knows? Did he think he had a chance to win it? I think he did, or he wouldn't have done it.
Exactly.
So kudos to him. I'm all for it. Go for it.
It happens.
It happens, and is what it is.
He ain't the first person to take out his teammate.
Nah,
Definitely
promise
won't
you.
be the last.
Promise you so.
Because I can remember some of the battles that Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson have, and Jeff Gordon owned part of that car.
Yep. Sure enough. So, but anyway, it was good. Daytona's done. Down to the first race of the playoffs for the Cup Series.
First time Darlington is in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. And kind of going back a little bit farther, the Trucks has not been at Darlington in 4 or 5 years.
No, 2004, I think is when.
2004. Okay, so it's been.
I think that was it's been a long time.
Jesus, yeah, I didn't realize it's
Like
been that long.
2005.
It's been a long time, and they put on a heck of a show when they were here. I love seeing the Trucks at Darlington. Love
It
seeing
sucked
anything at
because
Darlington.
nobody showed up to it because Truck Series just wasn't that big at the time. And
Well, and
guess
it was
what?
12 degrees outside.
That too. Well, guess what's happening this time? Nobody can show up to it.
Hey, they can't blame it on the stands, that's for sure. So
We want to come, I promise you. I would be there if they let me be there.
Going back, I honestly think, if they're going to throw this big NASCAR throwback weekend, they need to have their top tier series at that race that weekend.
I say all four top tier.
I
Start
agree.
with ARCA.
I agree 100%. That should be a weekend that they all are there.
In my opinion, there's no reason, especially being that it's a holiday weekend, a long weekend for Monday, you could either one of the two run ARCA on Friday night, or you could run ARCA
Thursday
Saturday
Well, that, but
during the day, because that's what they're doing truck race on Sunday. You could run it Saturday and then turn around and run the Xfinity race Saturday night, or either vice versa, either one. And just like they're doing this weekend, they're running trucks at 2 o'clock on Sunday and Cup races
6:30.
late that afternoon.
I'd love to see ARCA on Thursday night.
At Darlington. Why
At
not
Darlington,
put them
under
at
the
Darlington?
lights.
Why not put them at Darlington?
Put them at Darlington under the lights on Thursday night.
If you're gonna put them at
Trucks.
a big track,
Yeah.
I don't like ARCA personally. At a 1.5-mile track, we've talked to Derek about that before. It's nothing new. I don't like it at a 1.5-mile cookie cutter track where you're just wide open. Darlington is different, and plus it's not quite 1.5 miles. You know, it ain't the same.
Well, it's not, and
Darlington's
everybody
different.
knows that. But
You've
you know,
got to let off. That's my
You
whole
gotta
thing.
drive the track.
That's my whole thing is you got to drive the car. It ain't holding it to the floor and going wide
Right.
open as long as you can.
right?
You got to drive the car. So Darlington's different when it comes to that. Now it gets pretty spread out because one car can be just a little bit better, and one car can be just a little worse, and it amplifies itself.
Well, it's it's like Atlanta.
Exactly.
It's a driver's track. It spreads out. People that love seeing ability love that racetrack. I like Darlington. I love seeing driver ability. That track always performs for that. So, anyway, I'd love to see it. I really would. ARCA on Thursday night, Trucks on Friday night, Xfinity Saturday, and Cups on Sunday night. That'd be awesome. I'd love to see it in the years to come. I hope they learn from this year. But being able to bring nothing against Canada by any means, but putting the
Well,
trucks up in Canada.
It's just not time of year for it.
No, it's not. Putting the trucks up in Canada the weekend that is throwback weekend, I don't think it's fair to the guys that want to be able to run throwback schemes and be around for the throwback weekend. I don't think it's
Because a
fair.
bunch of truck series just jumped in on it.
Right.
A lot of those trucks have jumped in on
Oh,
it.
absolutely. So I'm looking forward to that. Hey, we're not going to be able to go. I don't think they're going to have any fans, from what I understand. Not going to have any fans for the Xfinity or truck race, but they're going to have 8,000 fans for the Cup race on Sunday night. So hope everybody turns out. I'm sure there'll be all 8,000 there. It'll be sold out for the capacity that it can be, I guess. But from what I understand, they're allowing the most or the
season
ticket holders, starting with the most years as held, I guess, up to whatever.
Right. Which is fair.
I get that. That's completely fair. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a good race. I think we did a little work on the NBC Sports office trailer. It's a big Federalite. About that. Yeah, it's a big Federalite. It's a race trailer. It's race hauler is what it is. Mm-hmm. But it's their office. It's their mobile office. Essentially, what it is. So
what all y'all have to end up doing that thing?
Well, Greg. Actually, Eric Thomas called me last week and said they were in Daytona at the time and had a little work to do on the lift gate of the trailer. So until I saw it, I didn't really know. But old Greg called me. He showed up about 7 o'clock Monday morning with the trailer, so we parked it, and what they had was they have some mounts for a tent, essentially, that goes over the lift gate that was just riveted down to the floor. And over time of use and whatever, the rivets have worked themselves loose, and he wanted them welded down. So simple little job, nothing to it, but it was cool to help them out. I love helping them out when we can. They look out for us for sure when they come to town in Charlotte area and wherever. But so we helped them out a little bit up at the shop. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, so getting to talk with Greg a little bit. He kind of told me that kind of what they had going on, and they're very limited on time. When they had to set up, they actually couldn't even park trucks in the compound till tomorrow, till Thursday.
Really?
So they're going to be kind of pressed for time to get ready and everything. And the cup haulers, from what I can remember him telling me, the cup haulers cannot enter until like 11 o'clock on Sunday.
Well, I believe it because I remember this past week on Twitter, Tab Boyd, who is William Byron spotter, he put a video up. He was already on the spotter stand and filming the 24 hauler coming into pits.
Yeah.
He was already up there before the hauler ever made it.
So they are very, very strict.
Them cars have got to be ready to roll when they pull them out of the trailer.
Yeah, that's what Greg said. I mean, basically, he said, when they unload them cars, they roll them through tech and roll them straight on their pit lane. I see it. And, normally we've had hot passes. We've been down and, normally the pit area is packed out with a lot of, there's a lot of people with hot passes, a lot of family, a lot of whatever is down there. And he said it's nice actually right now being able to just go wherever they can run up and down pit road with no problem to get interviews and all. So, but anyway, really cool to have that contact. Appreciate those guys looking out for us and calling on us to help them out some, and looking forward to seeing them soon for sure.
So if you need your big old Featherlight trailer or whatever, wheel it up.
We can do it.
Holler at them over at Palmetto Machine and Fabrication.
We can take care of you. Aluminum, it don't matter what it is. Steel, it don't matter what it is. Stainless, I don't care. We'll take care of it.
They'll weld together some gum wrappers if you have to.
We'll do whatever you got, I promise you. So, yeah, come check us out for sure. But anyway, so a lot of exciting stuff here in Darlington, here in our hometown coming up this weekend.
Also Florence.
Yeah, absolutely. Friday night, the big opening of the new Florence Motor Speedway.
I might end up over there. Might have a weekend full of racing. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, how about it? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Might head over to Florence Friday night to check out Florence Motor Speedway. Check out them Steve Zacharias and all that crew over there. And we're going to head to Lancaster Saturday. And we definitely going to be watching all the Cup Series going on from Darlington and all that stuff. And
absolutely. And old Derek on Speed 51.
Derek will be on
this weekend for sure. So check him out. Be rooting him on.
Definitely so. So anyway, guys, we have gone on long enough tonight. Long time. So y'all check everything out. As we always say, Checkered app, Checkered Race Hub. Check them out. all things racing on there. Ford Bite Apparel. Check them out. They're pretty cool. They own with a lot of race car drivers now. A lot of local. They're like us. They like to keep it with the down home people. Cool apparel though. Y'all go on Ford Bite. I think it's FordBite.com.
Pretty sure, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Oh God, I hope not. Check them out. Get you some t-shirts and hats, all that fun stuff.
Anything you want,
FordBiteCO.com, I think it is actually. All that, everything else. SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, Draco Springs, Purple Springs, Purple Springs. Everybody else, we appreciate y'all listening. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us again this week. And as far as we know, we will be back next week, same time, same place.
Yes, sir.
So we will see y'all later.
Later.